This is part 1 of Butterick's B6662. I will be making version B there, and these are the line drawings. If you already know how to do my sew-alongs and videos, and if you'll be kind enough to watch at least one ad, should it appear, which enables me to keep bringing you free content, feel free to skip ahead to go straight to the pattern spotlight. Skip ahead to the 3-minute 27-second mark. Here's a little bit about how I do my Sew With Me sew-alongs.
Techniques, I'm going to put it on the website and I will reference it in the sew-along itself. So for example, we're working on a pair of pants that has a fly front. So when we get to that portion in the sew-along, I'll do a little bit of it, in instructions in the sew-along itself, but then I'm going to refer you over to the website to go ahead and look at that video, that particular video, look it over, study it, do your own sample if you want, because I'm big on that technique binder. So go ahead and and do that, and then once you get a good hang of what that technique is, then come back onto the sew-along itself and do that particular technique with the sew-along. So that way we both kind of benefit. You still get the instruction of the actual sew-along, step by step of how to do a particular thing, but it's less editing on my part because, like I said, I'll mention it in the sew-along itself, but then I'll refer you over to the website to actually find that particular technique and go ahead, review it, look at it. And then once you master it or enough to where even so long, at the same time and install it in that particular sew-along that you're doing at that time. So hopefully that will be okay for you, because I think I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone for watching my videos. I love to upload the videos. I love to share my knowledge. And I'm pretty sure that you guys love to get free content. So in order for me to keep uploading free content, I just need you to do some simple things for me, some very simple things. The first thing is just to hit the subscribe button. So just make sure that you hit that. So you're subscribed to my channel. Hit the notification bell so when I upload a new video, you don't miss out and you get to see it. And then also, if there's an ad on my videos, they're typically anywhere from 10 seconds to maybe up to 2 minutes. Just go ahead and either watch it or do something else you want to do in those in that particular time that ad is running. So use the restroom, go get something to drink or something like that. Because that way, if you let that ad run, I benefit from YouTube, and that way I can still keep creating content and uploading it for free. Okay. Enough of that boring stuff. Back to the sew-along. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thanks again, and keep on watching. Good morning, everybody. All right, so we will be starting this project, which is Butterick's 6662, and my plan is to do version B, which is this one right here. And it seems to have some detail on the sleeves, a little puff sleeve, like a drawstring along the waist and a drawstring at the neckline. It does have a V and V on the back. Let's see, it just looks like it's cut on the fold. No real detail. And it looks like the drawstring is just along the front. That's different. So it looks like it's just along the front for the drawstring. Okay. So let's look at the back here. The pattern says that it is easy. It comes in sizes 4 to 12, 12 to 20. And it does give you body measurements up here, where, you basically use this to pick the pattern envelope, but you use the finished garment down bottom for your fit. Okay.
My bust is between a 44 and 45, so I always just go up 45. And this does say that it's a semi-fitted pull-over top. So just know it's semi-fitted. So for me, I like that on the larger end. So I like to add 5 inches to my bust measurement for semi-fitted. I believe semi-fitted is 4 inches to 5 inches. 4 inches if you're on the smaller side, 4 inches if you know, basically if you want more room. So I like to have a little bit more room. So if mine is 45 plus 5 inches, that's 50 inches that I want my bust to be. And as you can see here, finished for the bust line for size 20, which is the largest that it goes up, is 46.5. Okay, so I need 50, right? So that's 3.5. So basically I divide 3.5 by 4 because the bodice basically has 4 pieces. 2 in the front, 1 is typically cut on the fold on the back, so that's 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So you just divide that, whatever it is that you get. Mine is 3.5 divided by 4. And that's what you add to the side seams to make your adjustment. Okay, so that's for the pattern envelope. Okay, so let's go over the fabric first. So I have listed, I didn't do very well writing on my instruction sheet here, but I do have that it's silky, and it's probably a polyester because where I get my fabric from, I think this was from Joann's. The silkies are usually polyester. Okay, and so it's just very soft. It is a bit sheer. No stretch whatsoever. I did write that down. Crosswise stretch is 0 and lengthwise stretch is 0. And I wrote that it's silky. So anyhow, so no stretch whatsoever. But it is silky. Most silkies are your rayons, and that's what I did forget to do. Let's do that. Let's go back to the instructions so I can give you what it does say for fabrics. Fabrics, it says, is cotton blends, broadcloth, chalice, which is, you know, can be a little silky, but it's thin, flowy. Crepe, same thing. Rayon, this is most definitely what your silky will feel like. In your sections at the fabric store, it may say rayons or just may say silkies. And the fabric content could be 100% rayon, could be 100% polyester, things like that. But, you know, silky, you know, it feels like silk. And that's it. So cotton blends, broadcloths, that could be your heavier filling garments, and that could resemble more of this one. Okay, your chalice, crepe, and rayon is more of your flowy, thin weight, silky filling fabrics, and that's everything else, a little bit flowy. Okay, so going back to mine, so mine is a silky. All right, so to help out with silky type of fabrics, you want to use a Microtech needle. Okay, and all it is just really a sharp needle that helps pierce the fabric. Okay, so you want to get one of those, a Microtech. I will be using a 100% polyester thread. Okay, and just for ease of cutting, because it is silky, and which means it's slippery and things like that, I will be using a rotary cutter and rotary mat, okay, to make the cut. This is the other main tool that you need for silky type fabrics, if you choose to use a silky, is a walking foot, and that just helps the fabric guide through your machine evenly. Okay, so that is the fabric and the tools that you need. So let's go over the instructions. All right, so again, I will be making B. All right, and this is just the line drawing for B. And I do notice, which is kind of weird, they don't have the back, just the fronts. I guess because the back is the same and they give you an envelope. So mine is B. And as I mentioned, it looked like the drawstring is just on the front. All right, and then you do have a drawstring for the V, and it looks like the sides are maybe gathered. All right, and here, let's see, they go over the body measurements again. But for B, it looks like I will be needing pattern pieces number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9, and 11. Okay, so if you're doing with me, those are the pattern pieces that you will be needing. I'm not sure what this fabric is, if it's 45 or 9 or 60, but I would say it's, we'll say it's 60 for right now. So, but here are the 2 layouts that you need if you have a 45-inch fabric for top B, 60-inch fabric for B. All right. Things that you'll need to know how to do, sewing techniques, you need to know how to do stitch, finishing off, gathering, a narrow hem, how to reinforce, a slip stitch, stay stitch, top stitch, and under stitch. Okay, so you need to know how to do those techniques at minimum, along with your basics, you know, straight stitch, stitching on a curve, clipping your curves, notching your curves, things of that nature. So those are your basics. You need to know how to do that. And remember, if you need help with that, I do have a basics video series that helps you walk through all of that. Necessary techniques. So I'll leave that at the top of the screen or in the description, so you'll be able to see that. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the instructions and see if there's anything wonky in here that may trip us up that we need to review before we actually get to the sewing. Okay, so let's go over the instructions. All right, so, and anything that I see that, you know, may trip us up. All right, so starting at number 1, this is just basically telling you to interface the pieces that you need. For view B, we'll be interfacing 4 and 5. Okay. Starting at number 2, it's talking about reinforcing where the buttonhole is, and just going to use a piece, a small square piece of interfacing to that part. Number 3 is actually making the buttonhole. Number 4 is stitching from the large dart down, leaving this top portion open. I suggest finishing this raw edge individually in the front from where you sew from the dot down. I would suggest doing that first and doing it individually, because number 5, you have to make basically your casing for this front drawstring area here. All right, so that's why I asked you to do it individually there, because between that dot down to a small dot, I want to say it is, you're going to base along the raw edges. And again, that creates that drawstring casing. Number 6 is just you flipping it to the front and using that guideline to top stitch and keep that secured down. Number 7 and 8 is actually just making that drawstring for your front there. Number 9 is the actual inserting of the drawstring.
And then you're going to base the ends at the top. To secure it, number 10 starts the back, securing the front to the back. But what I want to mention is for the front pattern, they don't have the casing along the waistline. Nowhere else in the instructions do I see anything about creating a casing for the front. Now remember, in here, oh, you know, I thought it was a casing, but actually it may not be a casing. It may just be, yeah, I think it is. It's not a casing that runs through. It's actually just, what do you call it? Like belt loops. What do they call these? Thread loops on the side. And the drawstring is actually on the outside of your garment. I don't think I'm gonna like that. I want it to actually be on the inside. So what I will probably do, and this is not in the instructions because that's not what this is, but I will probably create a casing that goes along the inside, along the waistline, so I can stick the drawstring through that. It's probably what I would do, because I like that look. All right, but you don't have to follow that. You can just follow these instructions. Okay, so number 10 is securing the front to the back at the shoulders. Number 11 and 12, talking about doing your facing. So you're going to sew your facing pieces 4 and 5 at the shoulders, okay? And then you're going to, 12 is putting it on your bodice there, lining it up with the shoulders and the dot along your front, basically your center front, sewing that down. Number 13 is flipping it to the front side, okay? And you're going to top stitch close to the neckline edge, probably 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. Along the neck edge, okay? And then also secure it at the shoulders. You can either do slip stitch on the inside or stitch on the ditch on the outside at the shoulders to secure it. All right, starting at 14 to 18, those are different views. And also 20 to 22 is also different views, so we won't be using that. Starting at 23, we will be gathering the sleeve at the top between the 2 notches. 24, there's a dart, as you can see here. There's a dart here. I suggest you finish the edges of the darts because it wants us to base the dart close, basing it, and then we're going to press it open. So pressing open, you should have both of those sides finished. Now remember, when I say finished, you can either serge it or you can zigzag it, okay? All right, number 5 is gather dart along basted seam. So you're just gathering it. They want you to gather it to about 3 inches. So once you get to that, secure the threads just by tying a knot so your gathers don't go anywhere. Okay, number 26, you're basically stitching the underarm seam there. 27, you're going to do your narrow hem. They're asking for 5/8 narrow hem along your sleeve hem there. Number 28 to 34 is for another view, so we'll skip over that. 35 is our finishing. Along the bottom edge of your garment, you're going to do another narrow hem, 5/8 of an inch narrow hem. 36 is just telling you to gather up, pull up your drawstrings along your neck edge there, just adjust it how much you want it, and then just tie it off with a bow. So that's 36. 37 is about making the tie or the drawstring that goes around your waistline area.
there. So that's 37, 38, and 39. That's telling you how to make that tie. 40 is talking about the thread loops at the side seams. And you just want to make them large enough where your tie or drawstring can go through. And remember, your tie loops is one on one side seam, one on the other. And you know, you probably have garments that has it, and you just put your drawstring through it, and basically it's like a, you know, like a belt, and you just tie it. And like I said, I'm on the fence because looking at it, I swore I thought it was a casing, and I love that look of a casing along the front. So I still may do it. We'll see. But those are the things. And I pointed out where I thought, you know, little differences you may want to do beforehand, you know, like finishing, you know, some seams before you actually sew them, because you need to open them up and have them lay flat. So it wasn't anything weird, but just they don't have it in there. So I just wanted to point that out. So the instructions are fine. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to get your fabric, whatever fabric that you're using. Make sure to pre-wash it in the washer machine or dryer if you're going to go that way, or if you're going to dry clean it, make sure to take it to the dry cleaner and have that done. And then you want to lay out your well, cut out your pattern pieces. If you have to make any alterations like me, remember, basically I'm gonna have to put 1 inch to the side seams, a little bit less than 1 inch, but I'll probably just make it up by 1 inch, just to be easier for me. Along the side seams, go ahead and do that. And then you want to, you know, lay your fabric out as indicated. Mine is here, indicated on your layout here. Place your pattern pieces on there, cut them out as you see fit. I won't go over that in here because it's always the same. You know, you just got to go by that. So you don't need to watch me cut it out. I do have a video again in the basics video series that goes through this step. So if you do need reference to that, see that. And once you finish laying it out, cutting it out, making all your markings and everything that you need to have on your pattern pieces, come back and we will start the actual sewing. I probably said it in other videos, but it's been a while since I did a video. So I wanted just to say it again. I prepped my fabric for washing. And how I do that, this is the cut edge, you know, where they cut it at wherever you buy it from. All right. And these are the salvage, remember, salvage edges. I put those together and I put the cut edges together. And what I do is I serge the cut edges together. That way when it's in the washing machine, because that's usually how I do all my fabrics, when I pre-treat it, it doesn't unravel. And I can tell by looking at this fabric and along the cut edge that it does ravel very, very easily. So if I did not do this, I would have a hot mess coming out the dryer there. So that's how I do prep my fabric for pre-treating. Okay. And again, you can do the serge if you have it. If you don't, zigzag works just as well. Okay. If you made this pattern or intend to, or if you're going to follow along with me, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. Thanks again for watching, and happy sewing.